Hi, I'm Rick, here inside the Whisky Zone, getting ready to share a little something with you from an independent bottling of a spirit that started its journey in Scotland's Highland whisky region. This one is from the Glen Garioch Distillery, located in the town of Oldmeldrum, and the release is from the Good Spirits Company, located in Glasgow, Scotland. On a recent visit to Scotland, I had the good fortune to visit the Good Spirits Company over on Bath Street in Glasgow, where I picked up this Glen Garioch release. Now, as you may recall from Whisky Zone Review number 46, because I'm sure you're keeping track, I'm a big fan of Glen Garioch. It's one of my perma-shelf whiskeys, so when I saw this one on their shelf, it called out to me. The Good Spirits Company is a retailer of whiskey spirits, as well as an independent bottler of the same, and they've been operating this way since 2011. And I will say, they've got a very impressive lineup of independent bottlings alongside some solid distillery releases. I also have to say, I'm a big fan of the playful, colorful labels they use. This makes it very easy to locate on my shelf. Really fun design work. There were 214 bottles of this whiskey generated from a single cask, and at the time of this review, there were still some available for purchasing. This 11-year-old spirit was matured in a refill barrel. That's all they have to say on the matter, and it entered the bottling process at a very nice 54% ABV. And regarding what you get in the bottle, the whiskey comes to us non-chill filtered and with no added color. That gets the Whisky Zone thumbs up from me. Although I will mention that I had to hunt for that information on their website. Might have been nice to see that printed on the cool label. Anyway, this naturally colored whiskey has a very light shade to it, kind of like a pale gold, maybe a Chenin Blanc wine. So this seems like as good a time as any to insert the nose into the glass opening. Vanilla milkshake, pears, pine sol. Something a little perfumey from the fields, like a little heather. And maybe some dried spices. I taste now. Just like the nose, I'm getting spice. There's a warm initial spice on the tongue. Caramel. It is sweet, there's no doubt about that, but there's also a slight bitterness there. Buttery chocolate. Earthy. I get dirt. Fruity, like maybe raspberry. And some more caramel. Now, even at 54% ABV, it doesn't feel like it needs to be diluted any, so I'll render judgment without adding water. For the finish, I'm definitely left with some sweetness on the lips, but the rest is kind of all over the map. I get orange blossoms, rubber tires, fish stew, and caramel toffee. Now, off camera, I did a quick comparison between this independent bottling and Glen Garioch's core range 12-year-old. And while I admit it may not be a completely fair apples-to-apples comparison, I have to say I was surprised. The vast majority of the time, I tend to like independent bottlings more because of the freedom they have to paint outside the lines. But in this particular matchup, I have to give a slight nod to the distillery core range offering. Both very good, but the independent bottling felt like it could have picked up a little something from maybe another year or two in the barrel. Not bad by any means, just not that wow thing for me. I'm giving the Good Spirits Company Glen Garioch 11-year-old release a 7-finger pour. Thank you for the privilege of spending this time together as I investigated the Good Spirits Company Glen Garioch release. If you'd like to access more fun stuff, then you can always do that at the Whisky Zone Companion website. And if this brought you some value, then please be sure to hit subscribe so you can be kept up to date on the latest Whisky Zone videos. So until next time, drink smart, stay safe, and we'll see you again in the Whisky Zone.